What's up, guys? Today we got a little bit of a laundry list of things to do to the trailer. As you can see, we got, winch rope, battery, wiring, locks, reverse lights, more wiring, maybe an LS swap. I don't know. That's what we're working on. It's funny because, my picture, actual, and the reflection. All right, let's go ahead and get this winch box opened up here. Where do you open from? Come here, little fella. So we got instructions that, okay, negative battery cable, hook that we probably won't use, Fairlead pulley grabby doohickey thingy majiggy, the wired remote, also probably won't ever use it, single zip tie to secure the cables. Looks like some big old bag of bolts. We got its brain and central nervous system. So that's kind of creepy whenever you put it like that. Another positive battery cable. It's not a sad one. And an El Cheapo isolator switch. So maybe we'll use that one. I've never used one before, but might as well start now, I guess. Good googly moogly, this thing's heavy. Also, a roller Fairlead that we will not use because we're going to be switching over to synthetic rope. I also need to get my Fairlead mount. All right, and we are back with the Fairlead mount. So let's get this opened up. Handy dandy Gerber Applegate. Good, that looks like it's gonna fit. I was worried that these back holes were gonna be too far back. This is the hardware that they give you. You got your main winch bolt set up. This is gonna be for your Fairlead mount. And I think this is for something with the brain or something like that. I don't know. That's stuff that we're gonna be learning here in just a little bit. It's been quite a while since I've installed one of these. So we're gonna start off sliding these in. These are those square bolts, and they just go into their little square holes. Wouldn't you know? Can you see it? All right. Well, it looks like these bolts are just barely too short to make it all the way through. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm just going to get these in and get them started so that everything's in position. And then tomorrow, I'll take one of these to the store with me, and then we'll see if I can find ones that are just a little bit longer. I'm not really getting nearly enough thread engagement on these, and I can't fit the lock washer in there, so probably just go to the next size up. Probably be for the best anyway. I can get a grade 8 then. Yeah, these front ones aren't going to make it at all. They got an extra layer of steel to go through. All right, well, we'll just jot that down in a little note here. But the hard part is done. Just getting that thing lined up to begin with is difficult. Yeah, our local store that I get nuts and bolts from closes at 5:30, which is in like 12 minutes. So not enough time to make it there reasonably. Man, I'm kind of wondering if I should have try to get this brain hooked up first. I think I'm gonna undo those bolts. I kind of screwed the pooch here. We got to hook up these 3 wire leads right here from this and get this mounted on. I think that'll be a much smarter approach to getting this thing put on. So here goes nothing. Let's move this away from like right above the crack. Yeah, we don't want that sitting right above a crack for me to drop that nut washer down, nut and washer down. Bring you guys in for a better view of what we're working on here. Let's see. Not all the way tight yet. Still got to get the other ones lined up. So it always helps whenever you got multiple screws to get lined up, to get them all put in first and then try to line it up. Oh, that stinks though about not being able to at least have this thing completely mounted up tonight. Whew. That was close. Almost lost a screw. All right, now we can tighten these up. Now these wires are color coded. You got a yellow end, a red end, and a blue end. And over here we got yellow, red, blue. So let's get these ran neatly. I should do the blue one first, huh? Let's get you on. Washer, block washer, nut, and yellow goes next. Just trying to get these things set up to where it looks like I actually thought about it. Put some put some brains on the. I really like it seeing those like the super good electricians, the way they wire and stuff, and all of their wires are all super nice and neat. Oh, I can't be that guy. I'd probably get the first one bundle done and then realize it's been 3 days and I should have been done 2 days ago. Yeah, that's me. So we got to take this booger off because our negative wire goes right there to that lower post right there. And then this wire will connect to this one here. Let me go get a ratchet. We'll get all these ran in. And then we can start thinking about trying to figure out a hole to run the positive and negative through to our box here to the battery. And these are just 1/2 inch nuts. Get its little booty put over it. Let's get this lined up so we can see about where these cables are going to go through the wall here. All right, not too bad. Pretty much right about where I'd want them. Let's go see what came in the mail. All right, well, that sucks. I thought that my, I got some little doohickey my bobbies to go through the wall here. Some little wire doohickeys, I don't know, like little buttholes to guide the wire through the wall, make sure it doesn't get hurt by the rough edges. So that sucks. That might be about as far as we can get with the winch part tonight, but I guess I can go ahead and move on to the lighting. So, dang, we can't really mark anything off the list. That's depressing. All right, so that is the basic gist of what we're going for. It's nothing special. It's just an old rough country light that came off of my Jeep. This one was a floodlight, and it was mounted above the hood, so it reflected off the hood so bad it hurt more than it helped. But it should work great on here. It'll make it to where I can see when I'm backing up at night. They had these pretty fancy flange head bolts on here, and they're great, aside from the fact that the flange head on the aluminum just wasn't quite big enough. I'll show you on the front one here. See, it's kind of eaten into the aluminum a little bit. It just needs a washer or something to make it a little bit larger, give it more surface area to spread its pressure out onto. Geez, who the heck did that? Looks like that's something I would have done. I can't talk. I don't know how to TIG weld, so. Whoever put these lights in, holy guacamole, dude, what'd you do? Now I'm gonna have to sit here and mess with it. And anyway, it's a nice trailer, I promise. So on that rough country light, the issue that I have with it is Getting up into the little pocket that we have to work with, especially with all the wiring for the license plate mount, it's a little bit tight, so I couldn't put the washer and lock washer on it, and this nut is just barely big enough to cover the gap on that the steel frame part of the trailer that I'm bolting this to. So I need to get it some flange nuts, and I might have some. I'll have to see what size these are, but you know, at least on the top side where this is bolting to the aluminum, we got this whole bracket piece that's going to be mounting to the aluminum, so it's going to spread out that pressure really far. And because of the way that it traps that bolt inside of there, I don't got to worry about holding the top one so much. I can just put a finger on it, make sure it stays in place, and take it loose. So that'll help with getting these fenders off at least a little bit if I ever need to pull them off. But yeah, so we're gonna have reverse lights. It's just gonna be wired into the big battery that I'm putting here on the trailer, and I'm gonna have a remote switch going to the relay that's on that wiring harness. So we'll talk more about that later. All right, well, we're getting started this morning with trying to make a battery hold down strap for inside my box here. So I got this 1.25 inch piece of aluminum flat bar. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to bend it into shape real quick. I don't know if MAP gas is really needed. I've bent it without it before, but I've noticed that it kind of stretches the metal a little bit, and you can kind of see it start to kind of crack. So I'm gonna see if heating it up at least a little bit will help prevent that or not. If it doesn't do anything, or if it's just too much extra work, then we're just gonna get rid of this and do it how we've always done it. But let's see if we can make it a little bit better than before. How do you like my new, you like my workbench and vise here? Oh, dang it, I just realized I forgot a hammer. Guacamole. Oh. We got a hammer, we're good enough. See if that did anything. What's up, Scout? I kind of suck at this. Look at that, that's a lot of gap. Well, I needed a little bit of gap anyway for the, I got some rubber stuff to put in here to help with the vibration and whatnot, so I guess it's not that bad. All right, we're gonna try to make quick work of this. Easy peasy. And this is my can cut drill bit set. They're a little bit pricey, but they got like a step bit kind of design going on. These things cut so good. I see all the cool YouTuber kids playing with them, so I had to get me a set. Thankfully, these were one of the ones that was actually worth it. I've got some M8 flange head bolts and nut certs that I'm going to be using on the inside of the box to hold this battery strap in. All right, and this is what we ended up with. I got a riv nut down here and a riv nut up top. That way I don't need to have 2 wrenches to get it out, and it's in there. So now we got to figure out running these wires for the winch through. That'll be a pretty big task. I have to put the winch back where it goes and figure out exactly where I want them wires going through at, and then hole saw holes through it. All right, hole saw time. Oh God, this metal's thick. I think we're getting close. Whew. Got it.
Oh, nice.
All right, first one down, halfway there. Let's take a quick break and double check that this hole saw is gonna work for what I want. Yep, it'll work. So this is what I'm wanting to use. I want to use one of these little fittings here. I don't know. I think you can see it. But this goes towards the outside, the wire feeds in. Take this little cap off, slide the cap over the wire, and the wire goes through here. And if you can see all this, whenever I slide the screw on, this dome section will start pinching down on these, and that'll pinch down on the wire. This is supposed to make a watertight seal. I don't need a watertight seal. All I want is something to be able to pass my wire through that firewall or headboard, whatever you call it. I just want something to pass my wire through the metal without having to worry about my wire getting messed up and chafing on all of that. So with its little rubber gasket on, there's not enough thread hanging out the back for me to get the back nut on. This is what secures it in place. But if I take the rubber gasket off, there should be enough thread engagement back here. Otherwise, I'll have to slide this in from the back side and then use the main thread up front to pinch it all together. So I guess we'll keep plugging away here and seeing what we come up with. I also need to find my little hole cleaner thingamajiggy. You know, a little J-hook thing that you run around the hole to clean up all the burrs and rough edges. I don't know what I did with it. No. Everything just kind of disappears over time. I'm gonna have to hang on to that. That'll make one heck of a spacer if I ever need one. All right, hole number 2. Oh, I think I'm spraying too much, but I also don't want to burn up my bit. Ha! That was faster. All right, well, that looks like that's going to work just fine. All right. Well, that looks pretty darn nice. I got positive going onto this side, negative going over here. I guess I'm gonna go see if I can find those bolts that I literally just bought the other day to hold this thing down. And then we'll be back. We'll get that thing bolted in, and we'll work on putting new terminal ends on the wires. And I guess I'll be trying to find a spot to mount the isolator switch doohickey. Yeah. All right, so right now I'm just drilling out the holes for the kill switch for the winch. I've got them all kind of pre-drilled. Now we're going to go back with the actual size. That's just barely a little bit bigger, but this bit wouldn't fit through these little holes, so I could get a nice pattern going, but whatever. All right, now let's figure out what way is going to be best to have these wires going. I'm guessing probably something like that. Come up from the bottom and then have this one loop around and come up. I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I've never actually used one of these kill switches before. I just threw it on, directly wired it, but might as well. It's here. I think it'd be kind of cool. Make it. It would have been nice to be able to put it further over, but then I think it would make it a little bit weird to try to get your hand in here to use it. I think that right there, it's still easy to just open the lid and reach in here and turn it on or off, whichever one you want. So we're just gonna go with that. And And this should be able to just loop around here. So that's where we're gonna cut it at. Perfect. We'll go ahead and get this one cut too. So I think this one's probably gonna go something like that. So right about there. That blows. All right, well, I guess I'm running to O'Reilly's. Okie dokie. We're back at it. I ran to O'Reilly's and got the correct size fittings. These are just slightly bigger. I got my little mini tube of dielectric grease. And we'll grab our super special cable squeezers. Hey, no getting away. You got to get on here. All right, come back. Y'all think it's safe to have an open flame right next to a battery? I think that thing's almost out of gas. We're gonna be having to get ready to go here in just a little bit. So I think I'm gonna try to get this winch wired in all the way. And that might just be it for today's episode, unfortunately. Didn't get nearly as much done as what I was hoping to get done with, but unfortunately that's just how it is sometimes. I was waiting on some stuff to come in and trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do here and how to make it happen right. So I'm just trying my best to make this as good as I possibly can. All right, got that part knocked out. Now we can officially hook this thing up to power and hopefully we're good to go. Got just a little squeeze of dielectric that I forgot to do over here. There we go. All right, and that is our end result. I don't think it looks half bad. We can reach our switch quite easily. Everything looks fairly neat and tidy. A lot better than the last one I did. Nice little battery straps so our battery stays in nice. The rolled edges, I look like I did it on purpose. Ignore that. Nice flange head 8mm bolts that are riv nutted in. If you can see it right there, that's the riv nut that holds that. And that's the back side of the switch. And there's the back side of the winch. So, I screwed that down on top of that zip tie. All right, let's get in the shade here, we'll talk. So, what did we get done today? I think we can start marking off our list here. Let's see, we got, we should use a different color. I got the colors, so we're gonna use them. All right, so we got the winch, battery, the first part of wiring.